Drawing is fun. Learning to draw, not so much. Hello, I'm Jordan and I'm a self-taught artist. And today I'm making a bet that I can teach you how to draw realistic masterpieces better, faster, and easier than any art class. I may be making myself a public enemy in the art community by doing what I'm about to do, but I believe I have developed a method for drawing realistic artwork that will place this skill or talent well within the reach of everyone who has given up because you tried learning the traditional way and then for one reason or another it just didn't work out for you. I'm in the same boat, by the way. Back when Steve Jobs first revealed the iPhone to the world in 2007, he used this little chart to show how the iPhone differed from other smartphones at the time. And in the most simple terms, that difference could be reduced to one sentence. Apple's phone is 100 times more user-friendly than other phones. It was a simple idea, but it changed the world. Now, my head isn't nearly big enough to believe that I have revolutionized an entire art form to the same degree, but I think that I have done something similar in that I'm just making realism more accessible and user-friendly to the average person. A little bit about me as a layman myself. I learned to draw without all of the boring art history classes and vague theories and tedious exercises you typically have to do when learning to draw. Like, I recently learned of one exercise where teachers have students cover up their drawing hand and make them draw a live model while they can't see what they're doing. I don't know, that's supposed to make you better.
Come on, man.
My method doesn't have anything like that. It's streamlined and low stress with precautions built in to make it actually difficult to screw up things like proportions, and it allows you to make mistakes and recover from them very easily. I will talk to you like a regular person. I'll cut out all of the BS that you might be used to, and we will get right to the drawing from day one. This series from the beginning will be completely free on YouTube. This is my gift to you, and totally not just my way of making a killer introduction to myself so everyone will love me and smash like on all my videos and subscribe, and I can make a living doing what I love, and I'll make a website, sell prints and t-shirts with my stuff on it, then I'll be a millionaire. I won't have to work a 9 to 5 until the moment I crawl from my office chair into my coffin, and I can finally afford a home in Ontario. Girls won't think I'm whack for still living in my parents' basement. I could start a family, raise some little art nerds myself, and from my Caribbean mansion, I can teach them about the distant nightmare of living in the GTA for the past 10. But, that wouldn't hurt. Oh, this old thing. This right here is a drawing that I made of Sabrina Carpenter. I recorded the entire process from coming up with the idea all the way down to framing it. And while recording, I made sure to note down all of the little thoughts that I had during the entire process. I noted all of the techniques that I use and all the tools and everything. So I'm pretty confident when I say that I have covered everything and you will be getting all of it. And while this guide is a full long-form breakdown of my entire process, it essentially boils down to 5 steps. The idea, the reference image, the grid, the drawing, and then finally finishing and framing. So it's adaptable to any image you want to draw if you would like to follow along. I have also included links to the exact reference images that I used to create this. So if you want as well, you can download those and follow along, draw exactly what I'm drawing. And hopefully by the end of it, you'll have something similar to this. Whatever you end up drawing though, I would love to see it. Post it on Instagram and send it to me, or on TikTok and I will repost it. I'm at George's Odyssey on both. And like I said before, I'm making a bet with this series of videos. This method is not proven outside of myself, so I mostly just think it would be really interesting to see if it actually works out for anyone. If you don't want to draw with me,
Come on, man.
but no worries. You can just sit back and relax, watch some guy draw something from start to finish. I imagine that can be kind of therapeutic. So with all of that out of the way, thank you for watching, and let's get started. Coming up with an idea that not only looks really interesting as a drawing, but also communicates something true to you while at least being moderately original is, in my opinion, the most difficult part of the process. For me, this is where most of the work is done and where all of the creativity is used. If you can streamline this task, though, it can make this ability to be creative and original come so much easier and more naturally to you, regardless of your skill level. This may be what people consider to be natural born talent, but I personally believe that creativity can be created. And you can quote me on that. And coupled with your developing skill in the arts, you would be amazed by what you can come up with, and people will remember you. And my key to this is simple. Just keep a note for ideas on your phone. And specifically on your phone, just because it's always on you. Because inspiration can hit you at any time, anywhere, no matter what you're doing. Whether it's on the train to work, like daydreaming in a meeting, laying next to a loved one, or just like scrolling through social media. And it doesn't even have to be centered around ideas specifically for drawings. Like, just get down like experiences, thoughts, pictures, revelations, and emotions. It can be a cool title, like slick one-liners, short stories, poetry, even all the way up to like 12 paragraph depression spirals. Like, I've definitely done my fair share of those over the years. No matter what comes to you, if it triggers even a remotely profound response from you, whether it's positive or negative, add it to the note. I like to think of this as raw journaling. It's impromptu, unpolished, unstructured, non-judgmental, completely unleashed emotional stream of consciousness. This is like lightning in a bottle in terms of authenticity. Because no one has your brain. There may be some common ideologies and trends in thought out there in the zeitgeist, but no one can think and process and associate ideas exactly like you can. And in my opinion, while it could make you a lot more money, it's a total waste of your valuable time simply as a human who's alive to spend it creating artwork that just doesn't mean anything to you personally, which ironically turned out to be a perfect segue to why I chose to draw Sabrina Carpenter for this drawing. While I did add my own little twist to the image, this piece has very little genuine meaning to me. I intentionally drew her just because she's famous, and I thought it would help these videos perform better in the algorithm. But this drawing does have a bigger purpose, though, in that it's the centerpiece in my effort to help more people get into realism. So I feel like my integrity is still somewhat intact and I can still sleep soundly at night. The twist I added, though, is something I had recycled from the drawing that I made just before this one, which is one that I had titled The Golden Path. And this symbol of light coming from the eyes is something that does have much more of a profound meaning to me. I'm about to have myself a little moment here explaining this drawing, so if that bores you, just skip to this time and I promise I won't be offended. So in all of my years preparing for the future, with all the grace of a mental patient letting the voices in his head pull him in 4 different directions like some kind of medieval execution, all of my energy through schooling and working and chasing love was spent just trying to keep my limbs in their sockets to survive. I never allowed myself the luxury of true introspection. I did become introspective, but it was only within the bounds of my goal to start a career and make a life of my own, mentally hammering this soft, quiet, introverted boy that I was into a more confident and outspoken and skilled employee. I was following the recommendations and compromises of adults that knew more than me. But while a lot of these suggestions may have been helpful, 5 years before I was born, maybe, in the Canada of today, this really did nothing more than give me a hole in my chest and the burden of figuring out what's missing. I got laid off a couple months ago, and despite years of believing this would be the final straw that would just destroy me, Honestly, I felt more at peace than anything. Because for what felt like the first time ever, there was silence in my head. I can hear my own thoughts and opinions and desires talking to me after years of being drowned out by louder and more urgent priorities. And in this clarity of mind, I could see a better potential future for myself begin to take shape. One with new goals and strategies custom made for the person that I am instead of the person that I thought I needed to be. I saw a path to fulfillment, and my art would be the vehicle that carried me there. I felt awake and enlightened, and this is what inspired this visual. Long story short, this was when I decided to finally start doing something with my art, and I started this channel. Even if it never takes off and just remains like a little side hustle while I work real jobs, I already did the hard work of getting a foundation started, and it can only grow from here. I now have something of my own that I could spend my time working toward. And in just the couple of months that I've been working on it so far, it has given me like this sense of fulfillment and reward unlike anything else that I've ever experienced. So in conclusion, for me personally, this is the frame of mind that I try to keep myself in to stay creative. As much as I would like to, I can't just sit myself down in front of a sheet of paper and dream up a cool idea. It has to be an ongoing process for me. The ideas note is a living document that grows alongside you and evolves as new information is received. It's perfect for those nights when you feel randomly inspired at like 3 a.m., but you don't want to get off the couch. Just pull out your phone, go through your ideas, edit them, clean them up, develop them. If you don't like one, then you can just move on to the next one. Over time, this note could get to be like thousands of lines in length. This is your own personal stream of consciousness made tangible and ready whenever you are to pull something out and put it on paper. Whether this idea works out for you or just gives you a good place to start figuring out how you can maximize your own creativity in your own way, I would consider this portion of my little course here a success if I could just get those gears moving in your head. So that will bring this first part to an end. In the next part, I will outline how I use these notes to create a reference image. Because despite what you might think, I cannot draw realism without a photograph. And unfortunately, I don't know anybody personally who can shoot beams of light from their eyeballs. So I'll show you how I figure that out. Like this video if it did something for you, and subscribe and hit the alert to catch the next part as it drops. I'm aiming to release it within 1 or 2 weeks from now. So get that ideas note started and start adding to it. By the time the next part comes, you might even have your own original idea that you can get started on. So good luck. Thank you for watching, and you will see me in the next one. Bye.